Fearing opposition from Southern conservatives in Congress, Roosevelt avoided civil rights issues, and many New Deal programs continued to discriminate against black people. Although Roosevelt was hesitant to enter World War II, the U.S. emerged after the war with global power. Roosevelt's regular fireside chats on the radio were broadcast from the White House. No, he passed away in the middle of his fourth term. He was the only president elected. I don't know. He was born 1933. He was president from 1933 to 1945. So that's 12 years.
Wasn't his son president once?
His son was not president. No.
Oh.
So I don't know if his son's still alive. I'd have to look that up.
I thought.
All right, so let's look at the clash of the superpowers. By 1945 to 1961, the population was 151,000. By the end of 1961, now we have 50 states. All men and women still can only vote if they're 21. The new transportation of the age is the airplane. Ryan, the airplane. And communication. Television became popular. Television invented back in the 1920s, but it did not become a common household item until after World War II, so the 1940s.
Were you alive?
I was not alive. Grandma wasn't even alive.
Yes, she
Okay.
was.
Grandma was not alive. Oh no, and Grandma was born in 1949, but you're right, she was. I was not alive yet. Harry S. Truman is number 33. This is Truman. Truman.
That's
Grandma and Nana were born under Harry S. Truman. Is he still alive? No. Harry Truman is not alive. He actually died in 1972. He's not alive.
He died almost when you were born.
Yes, he was alive in office from 1945 to 1953.
What's the last president?
Donald Trump is our president right now. This is 33. He used atomic bombs in World War II. He made that decision. So, Dwight D. Eisenhower is number 30. They called him Ike.
You look like
Dwight Eisenhower, yep. He was in office from 1953 to 9. He's shaped by his military experience. Eisenhower was wary of war. It was growing military influence, ever science, technology, industry. Eisenhower signed legislation to create a network of interstate highways, changing both the landscape and the culture. Despite a mixed record on civil rights, he most famously set federal troops to uphold desegregation of schools in Little Rock, Arkansas. He was the first president to fly on Air Force One and give press conference to color television. Dwight Eisenhower. All right, well, I'll get you some more in a minute. All right, let's just finish. So this is Rosa Parks. You guys know what she did?
Oh, she wanted make the black people have a fair life.
Right. She started the bus boycott. She was the one
Got arrested for not letting a white person sit in her seat.
Right. She got arrested for not leaving her seat to give it to a white person.
You don't have to do that.
Right. So she is a civil rights activist. She was arrested for refusing to give her seat up on the bus to a white passenger in Montgomery, Alabama, Rosa Parks. At this point, between 1961 and 1993, the population was 226,000. Number of states, 50. Who can vote? All men and women age 18 and up. 1971, Congress passed the 26th Amendment. Transportation is the spacecraft. Between 1981 and 2011, the U.S. launched 135 space shuttle missions. Each shuttle carried up to 7 astronauts. The communication, personal computer, has made its debut. All right, what are we up to? We're at 34. We did Eisenhower. We're at 35. Wait, we have to JFK, John F. Kennedy. He was one of the youngest presidents. There he is, number 35. Mr. Kennedy, 1961 to 1963. Why was his presidency cut short? Do you guys know? He was assassinated. He was the third president assassinated. He was fatally shot as his motorcade traveled through downtown Dallas. So here's a story about your grandfather. Yes. Here's a story about your grandfather. I'm going to read something to you. In 1962, your U.S. spy plane revealed Soviet nuclear missiles in Cuba, triggering a dangerous standoff. Kennedy only negotiated a peaceful resolution. Your grandfather was in the Army in 1962. And when he was in the Army in 1960, he was set to go to Cuba and be in a war with Cuba. He was set to land on the beaches in Cuba. They were waiting for the word of John F. Kennedy. Well, what happened is, if you look at here, Kennedy ultimately negotiated a peaceful resolution. Had he not resoluted a peaceful resolution, your grandfather would have been dead. Because the Cuban president and the Cuban army placed bombs all over the beaches where your grandfather was supposed to land. So had he not had a peaceful resolution, I wouldn't be alive, you wouldn't be alive. Your grandfather was one of the first groups that were going to be sent to Cuba on land on their beaches.
If your dad died,
If that would have happened, everybody who would have landed on those beaches would have died.
But it didn't.
No, it didn't. It didn't happen. So your grandfather found that out later, and he sat down and told me that one day. That's one of the things he absolutely loved, and he actually shook John F. Kennedy's hand. So he got to shake his hand. So this is Malcolm X. He wasn't a president. Malcolm X advocated for black nationalism, economic justice through the inspiring prerogative calls for racial change. While incarcerated for robbery, Malcolm joined a prison debate team where he competed against elite universities. Okay, 1952, Malcolm changed his surname to X to symbolize a rejection of his slave name. I didn't know that. All right, he was a famous activist.
Okay.
Oh, who's this?
Luther King Jr.
You know that. What did he do?
Oh, he did like Roosevelt. He did like what Roosevelt Parks, a civil rights person.
Right, he helped people with lots of speeches. He was a peaceful protester.
And did he do the same? Did Malcolm and X do the same thing as Roosevelt Parks and Martin?
Well, a little bit. I mean, he wasn't as peaceful. Martin Luther King is mostly notable for being a peaceful demonstrator.
Touch, you're not allowed to touch.
He gave his dream, I have a dream speech, sharing his vision of equality for all at the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom of 1863. King viewed science and religion as complementary and lamented that social progress had not kept pace with scientific progress.
Any black people that are president?
Well, because there wasn't one until Barack Obama. You'll see it in a minute. He was assassinated in 1868. There were riots in over 60 cities. So right now, we have a street named after him. We have Martin Luther King Drive, but they said there's over 900 streets are named after him. I was not alive. Nana was, Grandma was, Daddy was not.
Were you alive during him?
I'm looking at him now. This is Lyndon B. Johnson. Who was he to JFK was assassinated? So Lyndon, Ryan, and Justin, he was Kennedy's vice president. He became president because Kennedy got assassinated in the beginning of his second term. Lyndon B. Johnson, 1863 to 1869.
Who assassinated Kenny again?
Who assassinated who?
Kenny.
Kennedy. I have to look it up. I don't remember the name of the person off the top of my head. He's dead.
But he was in the war, right?
Kennedy? I don't know. Johnson launched ambitious programs to advance health, environmental protection, economics, and racial justice for the Vietnam War, challenged his vision for the country. So while in the Senate, Johnson led charge to create NASA, which successfully launched the first astronauts into low Earth orbit during his presidency.
Is he
So
still
number
alive?
36. Let's go to number 37, Richard Nixon.
Richard.
So there he is.
Is he still alive?
No, he is not still alive. He died in 1994.
Is Kennedy still? Oh wait, no. Kennedy
No,
is not.
none of these guys are still alive. Nixon aimed to restore law and order during a time of race riots and anti-war protests, but his political tactics led to his downfall and resignation after the Watergate scandal. He was Nixon's call from the White House to Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin on Apollo 2 after their moon landing is one of the most notable phone calls in history. Number 37. Number 38, Gerald Ford Jr.
Are you alive?
No, I was not born under Gerald Ford. I was not alive.
Oh, you're alive.
I was born under Jimmy Carter. Number 38. He was he was president from 1974 to 1977. He was Nixon's vice president, right? because Nixon had to resign, so he became president. Vice president's always president. During the 1976 flu outbreak, Ford publicly received a flu shot to build public confidence in the vaccine's safe and necessity.
Why does that say
right.
when?
Because I don't know.
Because he won.
Because he won. Jimmy Carter, he was a farmer. I was born under Jimmy Carter.
What? Is he dead?
He was not a politician. Carter's dedication to human...
He's still alive.
No, he's still alive. Actually, yes. So he was born October 1st, 1924. Do you know how old he is?
No.
He's 96 years old right now.
That's old.
He was a farmer. Carter sought to improve efficiency standards, reduce oil consumption, and promote alternatives to fossil fuel. He was all about, and this is our first actor president. He used to be an actor in movies, Ronald Reagan, number 40. Ronald Reagan!
Is he still alive?
No, he died in 2004 in Los Angeles, California. He appointed the first woman to the Supreme Court, Justice Sandra Day O'Connor.
Did he get assassinated?
No, he died from old age. He was 95 years old. 96? I'm looking. He was born in 1911 and died in 2004. So he was 93 or 94. Okay, so what he's famous for is Reagan's negotiation with the Soviet Union over nuclear weapons helped to end the Cold War after nearly 50 years. Remember what we told you about the Cold War was when our bombs were pointed at Russia and Russia's bombs were pointed at us, but nobody fired? This was his vice president. He ran for president after Ronald Reagan was done, and he became president. He's passed away just recently.
W. Bush.
He is the younger Bush's father. So his son became president.
The younger Bush is 43rd president.
Yeah, he just died November 30th, 2018. So just 2 years ago he died. So he just died 2 years ago. He was only president for 4 years. He wasn't very popular. Bush fostered international cooperation on foreign policy issues such as German reunification and the Persian Gulf War. So there he is, George H.W. Bush. At this point, by 1990, 2020,
When did he die?
2 years ago.
I was alive when he died.
So right now, our population is 330,000. We have 50 states. All men and women age 18 and up can vote. Transportation, electrical powered cars, the Tesla, the smartphone. This is what I'm using right now to tape this. And who's this?
Oh,
This is the first president I could vote for in 1996. Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton is the 42nd president. Clinton's term was bookended by the launch of the International Space Station project in 1993 and the first DNA sequence from the Human Genome Project in 2000. He was impacted in 1980, then acquitted for lying about something that happened with Monica Lewinsky. He was impeached, but acquitted. That means he was found found innocent. He didn't lose his job. Clinton's domestic policy led to increases in mass incarnation, unequal treatment of LGBTQ individuals. No, I voted for Ross Perot. Ross Perot was in the Reform Party. He was an independent. But I did like him. I didn't dislike him. In his second term was the first time I got it. And this is George Bush. So that's George H.W. Bush over there. This is his son, George W. Bush. He was the 43rd president. Actually, I liked him. I liked how he was the one who had to deal with 9/11. Remember I told you about that?
Wait, did you vote for him?
His second term I did because I like how he dealt with 9/11. So 2001 to 2009, Bush's presidency victory was the first to be decided by the Supreme Court. Bush signed the Competes Act to invest in the nation. Okay, Bush installed a solar heating system for the White House pool, and one thing they don't say this on there is he had to deal with 9/11, which took much of his first term presidency. 43.
Did Barack Obama kill that person, the leader of the people, the passenger picture
Oh, guess who this is?
of Barack Obama and his
These
wife.
are I love them. I voted for Barack Obama both times, and I voted for, he ran against Hillary Clinton his first term, and I voted for him. And I was happy to say he was the first president I voted for. Oh, second president I voted for
I don't
that actually
think
won.
he
So this is the Barack Obama 44 hit. So he had a historic election as the first African American president. He continued to face racist backlash through his presidency. And one of the person who gave him racist backlash was Donald Trump. So Obama's signature healthcare legislation made strides to improving health and access to care. Under the Obama administration, same-sex marriage was legalized, and the U.S. joined the world in a global agreement to fight climate change. Obama launched ambitious moonshot research projects on brain science, cancer, and artificial intelligence. Obama was self-declared science geek, hosting White House science fairs and became the first president to write a computer program. His wife was Michelle Obama. She was a loyal community advocate and first lady. She grew up in a working class family. She championed White House initiatives on childhood nutrition, girls' education, college or technical training for all students, support for military families.
They're both alive.
They are both alive, and they are supporting Joe Biden because he was a Democrat. Obama was a Democrat, and he was a Democrat. So his vice president is, guess who?
His vice president
Who is his vice president?
is Joe Biden.
Joe Biden.
Well, he's voted for his vice president.
And guess who this is? Donald Trump, the 45th president.
Hey, that's Donald.
And his most famous thing that'll always be, he's office 2017 to now, because we haven't had the next election. He's an avid Twitter user. He tweets everything he thinks about.
Who is this?
Okay. He is. C. Hedges set a presidential record 200 tweets and retweets in a single day on June 5th, 2020, an admin nationwide protest against racial injustice. Okay. All right. So moving forward, shape the future. That is Uncle Sam. This is not a president. This is Uncle Sam. It's not a real person. Uncle Sam is a common personality of the United States government. What is it?
What president is this?
What?